Hello, everyone, and welcome to Atticus Academy of Animals' first podcast, which is very, very exciting. I am Rebecca Hanlon.
I'm Dan Baisley,
I was going to say that's
and
your
together
cue.
we are the Wild Stallions. Sorry.
Yeah, well, let's hope people are a similar age group to us, eh? And then actually know what that's from. And we have one fan has come to who we are very, very grateful to. So today we are basically going to our podcasts are going to be about sort of 20 minutes to half an hour long. So don't worry, we're not going to take up the whole of your evening. And tonight we're going to be just having a chat and letting you all know how this all began and what exactly is Atticus and why we're so passionate about it. And Dan was just saying how weird it was because we've been working so hard behind the scenes and now all of a sudden it's here. We're
It's
here.
just odd. Like it's been months that we've been talking about this and working and sorting everything out, and yeah, and now we're on first podcast.
Yeah, it's very exciting. I like it. So basically I decided that I was going to go and work in Dan's shop. So I just basically went to Dan, I'd really like to work in your shop, like one day a week. Have you got a job? And he did. So, well, I don't think you really did. I think you were like, yeah, come and come and work anyway.
I felt like you brought something to the shop that we didn't have, so it was something that was quite um I like to bring new stuff to the community, and you had some spare time and I could squeeze you in, and yeah, the rest is history.
The rest is history, yes. And we basically met and realized that we were going to be new best friends quite quickly, actually. It was quite,
Yeah.
yeah, it was like because we make stupid jokes about Wayne's World and have, similar era. We're both a bit geeky.
Well, that
So,
was Bill and Ted, so you failed at the first
oh,
hurdle, but
fuck it. What on? And now I'm swearing on the first podcast. There we go. So this is how it's going to be, basically. This is Atticus for you. So yeah, so we got on really, really well and we started talking and I started to discuss about the gaps that I was seeing in the pet shop. So being in the industry where I've been sort of teaching other trainers and behaviorists and I I felt like the industry was getting somewhere. I was like, people are talking about regulation. I mean, people have been talking about regulation for a long time, but I feel like people are talking about animal emotions and sentience more, and there's more awareness around how and why animals behave the way they do. And then I kind of realized really quickly that actually I'm sat in this kind of echo chamber of all of these, very academic people, and actually we're really not supporting our communities as well as we should be, in my opinion. I don't think the information is filtering down all this amazing science that's come out. It's not getting to the general public, and it's not fair on them. It's not fair on their animals. And so we kind of saw a bit of a niche in the market. I don't even
yeah,
like
and
calling it
and
that.
like from my perspective, I've had the shops now. Well, I've had one shop for 10 years now, and another one for 3.5 years, and we're finding daily people are coming in. They've gone and got some really bad advice from the chain stores, or certain vets. And I'm not saying that all vets are bad, but we have heard that some poor information from vets as well. And because people don't have the same level of education that animal education that the behaviorists and trainers and vets and everything else have, they almost are going by exactly what they're being told. And there's one particular chain store who even has their own dog food comparison website. They won't tell you that they own it, and they won't tell you that the ones that they give the highest percentages to, they also have a financial interest in those companies as well.
Yeah.
So that particular company will tell people, don't go on allaboutdogfood.co.uk, go to this other one, and they're just being given again poor information based
Didn't
on
even realize that.
profit.
That's so bad. Yeah. Yeah, it's really bad. So yeah, I mean that was, me and Dan are really, really passionate about the community as well as, so I think working in the animal industry, I worked out very quickly that a lot of people go into working with animals because they really struggle with people, which I get, it's, but I like people. I don't, I actually kind of I enjoy uh, I think as a species we've got quite a lot of work to do, but as an individual, I get on very well with people, and again, I think there is that gap. And we were seeing that, you've got all of these fantastic schools that are, the Ofqual regulated schools, or they're just the very high kind of or your universities and stuff like that. But if anyone wants to learn about animals and they don't want a career in it, they just want to understand their animals better, then they have to go on sites like Udemy, or I'm not going to start naming because Udemy is good for sort of an overall, but I'm not going to start naming some of the other sites. But there are very big sites that do sort of all these overarching um, courses. And when you look into it, I mean, the biggest one there is, which I'm not going to name, but the biggest course provider there is like that are kind of low price sort of animal education. They teach everything else as well. So you can become a plumber on there as well. If you want to learn about crystal healing, if you want to become a plumber, if you want to know how to groom a cat, if you want any of these things, are all on that one site. And the site is run, I did a lot of digging, and the site is run by 3 people. Well, there's absolutely no way that those 3 people have those skills to be teaching all of those things. So trying to find an academy that had very, very high quality education that was coming from really, good, solid evidence and scientific, but for prices that were for everyone, just it doesn't exist. Well, it does now. It does exist now. We are it. So yeah, that's basically
And
where it
and that's
came from, wasn't it?
and that's the other thing. It's, if you want to learn anything about anything these days, it just costs a fortune. And the biggest, or the most frequent thing that I've been commented on since we've launched the website is you really should put your prices up because they're too cheap. And when I explain that actually they're designed to be cheap, I mean, 4 quid for a guinea pig course.
Yeah,
Where else can you get a course? And this isn't like a, Dan and Rebecca's opinion course. This is a scientific based, high quality course for 4 quid. You just can't
yeah,
get it. A cup of
yeah,
coffee is
yeah,
cheaper than a cup of coffee in some places.
yeah, yeah, absolutely. And I think one of the things that I've getting feedback from as well is that people are kind of seeing it as maybe just for general public, but actually the courses are quality enough for professionals to use as CPD. So the science is there, but what me and Dan are trying to do is make the teaching accessible for everyone. So every single course we do, you can listen to the audio version as well as written. So if you want to, and I know you, Dan, have said as you're kind of going through the courses and checking it, and I think I found this the easiest as well, that you're listening to it as reading it, and that actually it
Absolutely.
really helps you process. And none of it is AI. All of the audios, we do apologize, are me and Dan, which
So I,
sometimes I
yeah,
feel
you,
sorry for you all to have to listen to it. Um,
You will hear the occasional giggle, particularly from Rebecca. But
yeah.
we do our best. We do our best. We're only human. We want everything to feel like it's authentic because that's exactly what it's supposed to be. We
Yeah.
don't want to pay somebody to, you know, do professional voiceovers
With
for us.
4.99 a course, we can't afford to pay people to do audios for us. So yeah, so that's not going to happen with no David Attenborough for us, I'm afraid. If you're watching, Dave, and you want to help out, then we'd be very happy for that. um, but yeah, I mean, we are doing all the audios ourselves because we don't want it to be AI-y, we don't, because I have listened to, and don't get me wrong, that's fine for certain sites, but when you're listening to a lot, you can tell that it's not a person, it's not so yeah, you get all of those, and then you get videos on top of that as well. Um so hopefully there's something there for everyone. It's and the words are very broken down, so you've got lots of sort of pictures between it, which for people that, I mean, Dan will say he does not enjoy reading particularly. It's
I yeah, I'm the almost the best person to look at education because I really struggle with your standard, textbooks and you've got to read everything and I really struggle. So to I'm really proud of what we've achieved because I kind of look at it as if I can go through it and understand it and get to the end of it and have the knowledge from what I've just gone through that almost basically anybody could, and we've also the lady who I say lady, she's younger than both of us, who helped us with the design of the artwork and things like this. She spent a really long time researching um color palettes and fonts and sizing and spacing and all of this to make it easier for people with various learning styles to be able to understand it. It's like color blindness and things like this. There's certain tones and patterns that people who are colorblind struggle with. So we've made sure that to the best of our ability, we've made it accessible to those people and anybody else that may well struggle. So we're very very open to any kind of feedback as well. So if anybody looks at it and struggles for any reason, tell us. Like literally come, sort of send us a message, ping us an email, whatever it might be, and we'll do our very, very best to make it so that it's accessible for everybody, essentially.
Yeah, Stephanie's been phenomenal, and we are going to do a bit of a shout. Her site actually is Rebrand Lab, so if you ever want any design stuff, and the lovely thing about Stephanie as well is that she has got qualifications in animal care. It's not what she does anymore, but she's very passionate about dog rescue. She worked in dog rescue for a long time, so she really understands this side of the industry as well, and sort of she's been so passionate with us, hasn't she? She's definitely been
She's been amazing. She's been
a
absolutely
member of the
amazing, and she's
team.
literally yeah.
Yeah,
She's been with us from day one.
yeah.
We basically went to her with a very, almost like cigarette packet kind of plan and idea,
Well, and
and
it was very much we want something that's ethical. We want
Mhm.
something that is kind to both animals and people. We want it to be authentic. We are not in this to make loads of money. Thank you. Your logo is fab.
Amazing. Thank you.
We're not, yes, I'd like to be able to pay my vet bills. I'd like to be able to hi Ronnie. um yeah, it's nice to, but that's not the driving force of this business. The driving force really is that um we would love to make education around animals common knowledge. It should be everyone's knowledge. The
Mm.
stuff that we're teaching should not be gate kept. It should not be behind massively high price tags, and inaccessibility of, you can only learn this if you're an academic. That the stuff that we're teaching, everybody should just know. I mean, whether you've got animals or not. I mean, we are going to be doing courses. We're in talks at the moment with people from wildlife kind of places, so we are going to be doing talks with about animals that we share our lives with. So, even if that's the birds in your garden or the hedgehogs that come into your garden, and that we're going to be supporting you to live alongside those animals as well. And that's the other big shout out we've got to do is the collaborators. I mean,
Mhm.
we have no money, guys. We are not paying all of these people. These people are doing, and that's why we call ourselves a grassroots education. It really is from the grassroots. We're doing this on a
It's
yeah.
not even a shoestring budget. There it just is no budget. I won't divulge how much the website has cost, but the website has cost a lot of money to just put it together. But and that's why we've been really really lucky with the collaborators to help us out
Yeah.
because we yeah. I don't think we're ever going to pay back the website, if I'm honest.
No,
But
maybe not.
but
But hey
it's
ho.
the
Um,
whole idea. So when people come into to my shops, it's amazing how knowledge from 30, 40 years ago is still prevalent now.
Yeah.
And nobody is doing anything. Everybody's looking after their animals to the best way that they can. And everybody is doing, we just had a couple of new joiners. Hi
Yeah.
guys.
We've got Steph and
Um,
Victoria.
a couple of, there's, it's very obvious that information from, sort of 30 odd years ago is still there, and people are doing their best, but they're doing their best based on very much old-fashioned information. Um, and when we talk to people about whatever's is modern, and they're always shocked as to what's going on. Um, and it's amazing how much branding is still taking hold. Cat food as an example, Whiskers and Felix. Well, I won't go into that
Yeah,
now.
that's not this podcast, Dan. You'll be here all
No, I
night.
know. I'm
20
trying to be very
minutes to
good.
half an hour, remember?
I'm trying to be very, very good. I'll stop. But it's like, that is still very much the prevalent feeling is that these brands that have been around for all these years are still very, very good. So when we give out that information in the shop, almost everybody is shocked as to why it's not. So and again, that was one of the founding factors of this, was that we just want that knowledge out there,
Yeah.
because then people can make really good, well-informed decisions about whatever, whether it be food or
It's
accessories or vet
it's
trips or
really
whatever it might
sad,
be.
isn't it? Because I think it's very difficult for people because, and I know I found it really difficult when I started learning as well, because I'd come from a family, I'd had animals, lots of different animals all my life. So I really did think I knew about animals. I was one of those people that said, well, I've had animals all my life. I know loads about, I don't really need to learn about dogs. There won't be. And the more I learned, I was like, wow, okay. Like there is just so much. And anybody that has a dog in their life, I mean, literally, when you scratch the surface, you realize that you could be studying for the rest of your life, and there will still be so many things you do not know about the animals that you share your home with. And it's not common knowledge, and it should be common knowledge. It should be, all of this knowledge should be everybody's. And that is what Atticus is about, making sure that that knowledge is accessible to everyone. And, that's why our prices will never be excessive. We will always have affordable prices. We will always listen to people and try and make whatever we're producing easy for people to listen to. And if you're a reader, you can read. If you want to listen. We'll try and be exciting, because Victoria loves exciting people, don't you, Victoria? So I know Victoria's told me before that she struggles with some of the learning stuff, and this is the thing, is there's a lot of people out there that are not learning because there is a way of teaching that is old school as well. And this is something we need to be bringing into the 21st century. We don't all learn the same. We need to make sure that learning is for everyone. So yeah, Steph's here, and Steph missed her. I'm assuming it's our Steph, but you missed us talking and bigging you up, so you're gonna have to watch the recording.
So, do you want to tell everybody, Rebecca, sort of essentially? I mean, obviously, many of our followers already do know who you are, but for anybody that doesn't know who you are and where you've come from, I think that was a song, wasn't it? Who you are,
It
where you
is
come
Steph.
from. Hello, Steph. Sorry, I was just saying it's it. Yeah, she said it's me. Hello, Steph. You're right. Do you want to give a sort of a brief overview of who you are and where you've come from, and um, I mean, your brief is going to be a lot longer than my brief because it's very small.
Um, so I mean, I come from a mental health background, so I worked in mental health for 20 years with people. I loved my job. I love working with people. I love advocating, and that's what I did really for 20 years, was advocate for people that weren't able to advocate for themselves for various reasons. And then ended up in the dog industry. And yeah, I've been studying dogs and other animals. I've always sort of rescued, and uh so yeah, became a level 6 behaviorist. I've done other courses in other animals as well. Especially kind of I love my rats because I've got a little rescue rat. I haven't even done that course yet. I think it's because it's going to be massive. But so yeah, so level six behaviorist. Then I got into nutrition. So I've also got some qualifications in nutrition and holistic health, if you like. So I love learning about that. There is just so many things out there that these amazing professionals are doing, and I'm really, really lucky to be somebody that gets to spend time with these amazing professionals and learning from them and sharing them as well. And hopefully, because I've been like that, that's why these amazing people such as Victoria are offering their time to Atticus, and their amazing expertise so that we can make the world better for animals and people. People matter too. We like
Absolutely.
people too. Yeah. Um, So Ronnie's put, we love you coming to France and sharing your knowledge. Yeah, I have been to France and done some workshops in France, and there's just this amazing community out there that yeah, that I talk to quite regularly now. It's lovely. And they're coming to the conference in November. We've got a few coming to the conference, so that's awesome
Excellent.
as well. So yeah, so, and Dan, Dan always says he's my drummer because he hasn't got like the same skill set. And I just want to tell people, Dan so does have the same. Well, he has a different skill set, and that's why we work so well. So Dan's been in the pet shop industry for 10 years. He's got qualifications in management and business, and he just has a natural aptitude to understanding animals. And you really have got to have something that he's a whiz with a harness. It's like the best harness
Like
fitter.
because I originally started nearly 30 years ago. The very first pet shop I worked in was nearly 30 years ago. I can't believe I'm old enough to have worked in a shop 30 years ago. But
You were making, Keanu Reeves, and I'm not going to get it wrong again. I said Wayne's World, didn't I? You were making Wayne's World jokes.
but it's back then Eukanuba and IAMs were the big thing, and it was a specialist reptile shop, but it was also kind of just a standard pet shop as well. And I knew then that a lot of the stuff that the pet industry was promoting wasn't okay, but it was the best that was available, if that makes sense.
Yeah.
And then my life went a completely different direction. And I learned more about business by doing what I ended up doing. And then, yeah, as you say, I kind of fell back into to doing things around 10 years ago. Um, and started on the markets, learned my craft on there, and then moved into a shop and expanded that. And now I've got a second shop. But I'm all the reps that come and see me tell me that I'm very well known in the industry. So I know that when I go to the trade shows, more most of the stands, they're like, "You're right, Dan." I'm like, "How do you know who I am?" It's weird.
At least you didn't
Um,
swear then, like I did at the beginning of the podcast.
well, I know that my mum may well watch this at some point, so I need to be a little bit
Sorry,
careful.
Mum. Sorry, Dan's mum. I'm a potty mouth. I'm really sorry.
Um, but I think my most proud thing is the Hem and Boo sports harness. I helped to change the design of that, um, which is now one of the best selling harnesses in the UK. And four other brands have copied it, based on the design that I helped change. So I love doing harnesses. I love talking about food and treats and stuff and everything else. But yeah, I think harnesses are, for whatever reason, weird specialism. It's a really weird specialism to have.
We'll
But
trust you to choose a weird specialism.
you're welcome.
Right, guys. Well, we are going to wrap it up now because we've promised ourselves that we're going to be very good with these podcasts because me and Dan could talk for hours, but we don't want to bore you. And if we got Victoria on, we'd be here all night. So, thank you so, so much for all. Honestly, I could well up with the amount of support people have been given, the amount of people that are telling us that this is needed and that this will work, because obviously we have poured a lot into this and we don't know whether it's going to work or not at the moment. We're this tiny little business. We're basically best mates that are just trying to make the world a better place for animals. That's as simple as it is, and we're working so hard. So the
Particularly Rebecca. I want to say particularly Rebecca. has been non-stop with writing these courses, organizing the collaborators, the various videos she's put together. And on top of that, she's done most of the voiceovers. She's done most of the editing. So, yes, she says we, but actually it's mainly Rebecca at the moment. Apparently
Right,
my time will come.
your time will definitely come. But yeah, we do. We really appreciate the support. We really, really appreciate it. And so thank you for what everyone's done. And Ronnie, so exciting stuff. Congratulations, guys. I'm hoping to see some tortoise care. Yes, I have been speaking to somebody that's very passionate and a bit of a specialist in tortoises. And this is the thing, we're bringing in specialists in, the reason that the courses are mostly small animals at the moment is because it is they're things that I feel confident writing about. They're things that I have got. Yeah, my new office is awesome, isn't it? Thanks, Tor. I wish it looked this tidy. But yeah, so we need for kind of the more exotics and things, we are bringing other people in and talking to people because obviously we want to make sure that the information is right that you are getting. So yeah, there's a lot of research going
And
on as well.
and that's the thing, it's what's right, not what is current practice necessarily. So
Yeah.
that's the difference. So we're making sure that it's scientifically accurate, and essentially what the animal itself would have experienced naturally, I think is the best way to put it.
Yeah, that's definitely our drive, isn't it? That, we're trying to teach how animals would live if they had the choice of how to live and how to integrate that into a realistic way of living with our animals. And that's why I say our courses really aren't just for people that for, general public. They are for I know that there'll be professionals out there that will get something from our courses as well because they're not just your normal standard. In fact, I've had a couple of my friends who are professionals look through the courses and they're like, we really enjoyed them. So yeah. And Victoria said we must arrange a date for me to interview guys for the rebooted Woof You podcast too. Absolutely. And you need to come on
Yes, please.
our podcast. We've got a cat groomer coming up soon, which I'm really excited about. A holistic cat groomer. How awesome is that? So
I'm
yes.
very much a cat nerd. I'm very much a cat nerd, so I'm looking forward to that.
Right, lovely people. We love you lots. Thank you for all your support, and we will see you soon. Mwah.
Thank you so much, guys. See you later.
Bye, guys. Bye, bye, bye.